10 people yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will switch to our face now. Okay, let's start it. Okay. Hi everybody. Okay, my name is Alf. I am a community team of Twitter Park, and today we have the live session in TDPK Talk Global Tech Review. So the topic today is like can AI be creative? So we have a special guest from IKISEA Bangkok University, Dr. Vincent, like that. Okay, can you introduce about yourself and the topic about what you said today? Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. Very nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Vincent Ribière. I am the managing director of the Institute for Knowledge and Innovation at Bangkok University. And so today I'm going to talk to you about creativity and more particularly how artificial intelligence can be creative, if it can be creative at all. Great. So I will now share my slide with you. I will try to give you maybe a 20 to 30 minutes presentation, and then we will go through question and answers, so you can ask any question you have. Okay, great. So let's get started. Let me share my screen.
Okay, so I will remove myself.
Okay, great. So like I said, today we're going to look at how artificial intelligence can be creative. Before I get started, I would like to thank True Digital Park for inviting me to give this talk today. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much to all the help and support from Kun El, who have helped me all along the way to be here today. So let me tell you just a little bit about our institute. So the institute is called the Institute for Knowledge and Innovation Southeast Asia. That's a center of excellence of Bangkok University, and we focus our expertise on the field of business creativity, innovation management, and knowledge management. So we are a team of international faculty and staff, and so we closely work with organizations to help organizations to strengthen their innovation capability or their knowledge management capability. So I will not go through all these things in detail, but you can see that we are active in a lot of different things. We organize events, we organize corporate training, we provide consulting. We also run what is called the MIC Award, the Most Innovative Knowledge Enterprise Award, for people, for organizations who wants to be acknowledged for their excellent work in the field of KM and innovation. And also as an academic institution, we run two programs. One is Master in Business Innovation, MBI, which is a new generation of the MBA, if you want, which focus on innovation. And we have also a PhD in Knowledge and Innovation Management that we have been running for the past 10 years. So let's get started. And what I would like to do is to just to get a sense a little bit on who's watching today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you in the message box, in the comment box. Let's see how I can do that. Can I put a comment? Or maybe Kunhel, you can help me. So I share with you the link in the comment section. And what I would like you guys to do is to access this web page and then to answer the first question. So the first question just ask about where are you coming from? Okay, so let's see if this thing is working. Let me go back to the screen. I'm not sure if Kunel, you could copy the link also to the comment section. If so, let me show you. I will know very rapidly. I'm going to show you the result in a second. Okay, so we have a live answer here. So 100% of you are from Bangkok. Okay, nice to hear that. Okay, and then let me ask you a follow-up questions. Just give me 1 second, and I will go back to the second question. So my second question, again, following the same link, maybe if you refresh your screen, could you answer the second question? The second question says, in your opinion, can computer be creative? Okay, so far we are getting 100% yes. Do we have any other answers? So you're all convinced already that computer can be creative. So maybe no need for me to present today. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, good. So that's already a good start. So we have a lot of people who are convinced already that the computer can be creative. So that's a good start. So let me go over my presentation and tell you a little bit more about how this is possible and how it is happening. Okay, so what we can see currently happening is that a lot of organizations are trying through their digital transformation journey to use technologies that are going to help to automate a lot of the tasks that are performed by humans. So you can see from this graph that a lot of new technologies, including AI, are currently being more and more adopted by organizations to increase the level of automation. Now, this, of course, raised a big issue or big concern to the employees, which wonder, I mean, are we going to lose our job and are we going to be replaced ultimately by a machine or by a robot? Now, McKinsey in 2016 published a study that in fact explains that all sectors of activities in all industry will be affected by this, but jobs will not disappear. Some portion of the job, some aspect of every job's task can be automated. Depending the job, maybe a higher percent of the task that this person conduct can be automated than others, but more or less everyone does in their daily activities some tasks that will be automated and that will be maybe supported in the future by AI. But it's very likely that still most of the jobs will remain, but again, with an evolution in terms of what is expected or the skills that are required to perform this job might need to be upskilled also. Now, if we look also at some of the global studies that are conducted, and one which is well known from the World Economic Forum, we can see that the skills in need in the future, let's say even just by 2022, we can see that among the top skills, I mean, employer will look for people with a certain level of creativity, originality, who can take initiatives, who have some degree of analytical thinking, again, which are able to innovate. So we see that these are the skills in demand. And then directly, that's why also what drove us, like I mentioned early on, to develop our NBI program. Now, so creativity is a hot topic. It's a skill and demand in need. And so the question is, can computer be creative? So if we look a little bit in the history of computing, in the past, there's been a strong focus on trying to make computer more intelligent and be able to assess the intelligence level of computer. And so this was the instrument that was used to measure computer intelligence, what is called the Turing Test. So how does the Turing Test work? So that's quite simple. You have one person that we call the questionnaire. And so this person is going to type a question. And this question is going to go to a real person, to a human who's going to answer this question. And the same question is going to go also to a computer system, to a smart system, to an intelligent system. And so the test consists of, if the person who was asked the question is not able to differentiate who is the human who answer from the machine who answer, then we can say the Turing test will claim that the machine was intelligent. So that's how in the past we could test the level of intelligence of machine mainly based on this Turing test. Now, of course, software companies and IT companies have tried to demonstrate that they were able to create smart machine, intelligent machine, and IBM, the game of chess has been for ages considered as a very strategical game. And so for sure, this was the first target for IBM with their Deep Blue computer almost 20 years ago to try to challenge the world champion, the world chess champion, who was Garry Kasparov at the time. And so in 1997, finally, Deep Blue was able to beat the world chess champion. Now, the next step was to not just look at a game, but a game that require a little bit more culture, we could say. And so there is this game in the US which is called Jeopardy, that you may know about, or if you don't know about, it's quite simple. So they give you an answer, and so you need to find what was the question that led to this answer. So if I tell you, for instance, 300,000 kilometers per second, and so what the question will be, what's the speed of light? Okay, so again, they invited the world champion in Jeopardy, and IBM came up also with their new machine that was called Watson. And Watson, again, by having learned gained a lot of knowledge from all the resources that were fed to it, was able to beat the world champion in Jeopardy. Now, so if you look at the game of checker, for instance, so a machine can easily assess all the different moves that it can do to move. So in a game of checkers, there is 10 to the power of 20 possible moves that can be assessed. And for a machine, that's something that it can do very easily. So this is one of the easiest things for a machine to compute. With chess, things get a little bit more complicated. The number of possible moves is expressed 10 to the power of 40. So that's still feasible for a machine because we can use what is called a brute force attack, or brute force approach. So it means the machine can test all the different combinations possible and find which one is the best. So again, that's possible. But now there is another game that was the ultimate game, which is a Chinese game, which is called the game of Go. Now, in the game of Go, the number of possible moves increase over time, and it's estimated to 10 to the power of 80. So that's not something that a machine can assess. The machine will not be able, it will be able, but will take a lot of time for the machine to evaluate what's the best move all along the way. So computer and software companies had to think about a different way to solve this challenge. And so there was a company in UK, which was called Deepmind. We developed a machine, an AI machine that was called Alphago. And what they did, so they fed this machine with real situations. So there is a database of all the Go games that have been played in the past by the most well-known champion in Go, and they fed the machine with all these game and all these moves that has demonstrated to win in the past. But they thought that it will not be enough for the machine to win the world champion of Go. And so what they did, they used what we call a reinforcement learning algorithm, where the machine started to play against itself. So the machine started to play against itself. So what it means that the machine was playing, so against itself. If it was going to win, then he will continue to play. He knows that the move that is potentially win. If the move doesn't end up into a win, into a loss, so more or less, then the algorithm refine itself. So the more or less the AI system or the neural network update itself with this. And so the machine can play like that against itself for millions and billions or billions of different cases, things that a human being will not be able to do over a lifetime. So the machine, AlphaGo, was able to learn by playing against itself. And so then the day came where the machine, AlphaGo, played against the world champion, Lee Sedol. And of course, so the world champion knew that the machine had learned from past historical moves. And so Lee Sedol decided to play a bit differently from the way he plays usually. And so by playing differently, he put himself also in jeopardy, and he ended up losing the first game. Now, during the second game, something happened. So at the move 37, that's a game which is well known. At move 37, AlphaGo played a move that everyone found was a huge mistake. Even the commenter of the game say, but what happened to the machine? Why is it playing like this? I mean, it's kind of suicide to play such kind of move. And in fact, this move revealed that it helped the machine, AlphaGo, to win the second game. So this was something completely novel. So that's something that was completely novel and that surprised everyone. And even the world champion who came later on says that, well, AlphaGo somehow brought some new knowledge that we had really no clue about, or brought some new strategy to play the game of Go that no one had ever thought about before. So that's where we can talk about potentially some creativity. It was not just playing the game and following an algorithm. The machine made a choice which the machine was not programmed to play this particular move. And this brought up a brand new avenues for new knowledge about the game of Go. So if we look back, and I think it's time now to talk a little bit about the definition of creativity. So there are hundreds of definitions of creativity. Not everyone agree on how to define it, or at least it can be defined through different lens. But I like this very simple definition: the ability to come up with ideas or artifacts that are new, but also surprising and also valuable. So if we look at the case of Go that I just presented, yes, the move was new. No one have ever played such kind of move before. It was quite surprising because, like I said, everyone thought that it was a big mistake. And was it valuable? Of course it was valuable because it helped Go to win this particular game. So we can say that, yes, AlphaGo demonstrated some level of creativity by playing this particular move. Now, if you're interested in this story, and there is a movie which is freely available online, which tells the story about how AlphaGo was created and tells the story also about this particular game. So you can look for the AlphaGo movie or something like this. It's also available, I think, on Netflix. Now, let's look a little bit about, again, history. So if we I don't know if you're familiar with Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace used to work with Charles Babbage long time ago in year 1820-22. And she can be considered as the first programmer. She's the first person who developed an algorithm. And in fact, I mean, if some of you are in the programming field, you might know the Ada programming language. And so the Ada programming language comes from from her name, so in memory of her name. So at the time, even though she was the first programmer, she had already originally identified that machines, analytical machines, which was the machine that she had developed with Charles Babbage, could potentially generate music, for instance. But he says that the analytical machine has no pretension to originate everything. It can do whatever we order it to perform. So she said that it's very unlikely that the machine can develop something on her own, but she had perceived that the machine could learn and potentially also be used to create, for instance, a musical score or things like this. Now, so again, a new test, like I said, the Turing test was used to test the intelligence of machine, but to test the creativity of machine, another test was developed, which is called the Lovelace test, okay? Again, in memory of Ada Lovelace. And the test says, can a machine originate a creative work of art, such as the process is repeatable, so it didn't just happen by luck or by chance, and yet the programmer is unable to explain how the algorithm produces output. So it means that we can judge that the machine is creative or not if, in fact, the machine does not follow a predefined algorithm, but the machine is able to make choices or create something which was not predefined by its programmer or predefined by the person who develops the experiment and so on. Now, so how does it express? So how can computer or AI express creativity? So there are different ways to do that. Of course, there is through the painting. So here I'm going to show you two paintings, okay? They are paintings from Rembrandt. And so one of them was painted by Rembrandt, and one of them was painted by an AI machine who learned from the Rembrandt painting style and technical approach too. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you another link. It's just going to take a few seconds. I need to share it with Kun El, who's going to share it to you. Okay. So you should get the link in a few seconds. Now, let me just give me 1 second because I need to go back and activate the poll. So by the time you receive the link, hopefully I will have activated the poll. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so let me switch screen. It's a bit complicated. There are lots of things to do here. Let me stop sharing. Hello again, and let me share my screen again with you so we can see the result of the poll. Okay, so the poll says, I don't know, I don't see any answers. Maybe they are coming. So the question is, with which Rembrandt painting is the original one and which one was the one created by the machine? So the one on the left, was it the one created by Rembrandt or not? Let me see if you got the link. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so 100% of you, let me see if I can refresh this. Okay, so 100% of you says which one the Rembrandt. Ah, no, okay, we get 33% who think that's the right picture. Okay, not everyone agrees. Okay, so let's go back. Let's find out which one Sorry, there was a little technical glitch. Are you still with me? Just checking if everything is okay with Kunal. Just give you 1 second. Okay, so I assume everything is okay. So yeah, so I don't know which one is your left and your right. The one on the left, yes, was created by Rembrandt himself, and the one on the right was created by the machine. Now, the machine could learn directly from analyzing hundreds of paintings from Rembrandt, and then by learning from Rembrandt's style, the machine recreated a new painting. This painting was painted also on a 3D printer. So again, just to even emphasize, the brush style, to have the same style really as Rembrandt. So this painting, there is also a short movie that talks about this, which is called nextrembrandt.com. So if you visit the website, you will be able to see it. Okay, now, so machine can generate art, right? Can generate paintings. And there is one painting which is very well known, which is called The Portrait of Edmond Bellamy. It's well known because it was sold on Christie's auctions in 2018. And so the price went up to $432,000 US. Someone bought it at this price. So again, it's what you can see on the screen, purely developed by an AI machine. And so this raises the questions. Do we still need painters in the future? Or can machine replace or disturb, radically disturb the painting industry? So the signature of this painting was this formula, and so the signature was painted at the bottom right corner of the painting. Now, here are also some paintings. So I was going to ask you which one was created by AI and not, but it looks like it's a bit challenging to run this poll live with this system, so I will not do that. So which one do you think have been created by an AI machine? The one on the left or the one on the right? Okay, so in fact, I tricked you a little bit. All of them have been generated by an AI machine. And let me explain to you a little bit how this artwork were generated by machine, following what kind of concept and algorithm. So Paul Valéry once says, it takes two to invent anything. And if you look back into a lot of very successful IT companies, there was originally very often two founders or three founders working in a garage who came up with something. So he says there is one which makes up combination. So one would come up with the idea, and there is another one which more or less comment on it or judge this idea or provide feedback. And through this interaction, then things are being created. So that's the idea that some researcher in the field of AI use to develop what we call a creative adversarial network. So in fact, these are two networks, or two machines, if you want, which are working with each other. Once the generator is going to generate some art, and it's going to generate some art based, again, on artwork that it was fed with. So in this case, a lot of different artistic style were fed to the machine. So in this case, the researcher used WikiArt, which is a collection of paintings and so on. All these artwork were classified in different styles, right? Different styles of painting. And so the generator, based on having learned about all these painting style, generate some new paintings that mix different style or follow some style. And then the second system, the discriminator, is going to adjust, or is going to discriminate more or less, or is going to judge if this can be considered as art or if this is not considered as art. So the question is, how can the machine define if it can be considered as art or not considered as art? So in this case, they used a curve, which is called the Wand curve, and which use, in fact, two parameters. One of them is whatever is produced is pleasant to the human eye. Are we getting indifferent about it? Or is it unpleasant to our eyes? Or is it something which is likely to be pleasant? So we are looking for things that are pleasant. And again, on the second axis is the level of familiarity. Is it something that we have seen in the past? We look very much like Van Gogh painting, for instance. Or is it something which is extremely new? And in this case, we might not get, if it's too new or too novel to our eyes, to your human eyes, we might just discard it and say that's not art to us, that's just a big mess, or we don't understand what it is. So the machine is trying to find an optimal point that balances both how pleasant it is and how familiar it is to us. Yes, it needs to have some level of novelty for sure, but not so extreme. And so the machine, the discriminator, is going to judge all the paintings that are generated by the generator, and all the ones that fit into this ultimum level will be considered potentially as art. And what you have seen, what I showed you a couple of slides before, all this painting came out of this system. Now, there are lots of tools nowadays that are available online, which are free. There is one which is called, from Google, which is called Deep Dream Generator. Let me just show you a simple example. So you upload a picture, you select a painting style, or you upload another painting or whatever. And when you press, so the AI system is going to convert your picture by reusing the painting style that you had selected. So again, how to combine and again get inspired from, in this case, a Van Gogh painting, and apply it or reapply it to a different context or to a different image. So this is called a Deep Dream Generator. You go to deepdreamgenerator.com and you can play with that. Now, there is another one I discovered recently, a Japanese site. Again, you upload a picture, and out of this picture, it will convert your picture into, if you can call that a work of art, or I mean, into something that looks like a painting that may have been done by an artist. Again, you have different style. Again, it's free. You can play with it, and it's fun. And again, the machine, the AI machine behind it, algorithm behind it, again, analyze and the picture and transform it into something else. So that's for painting, and there are tons of applications nowadays that can do that. Now, when it comes to writing, can the machine write? Can AI write some creative artwork? So again, just as a simple example, here is a little poem, which is called The Saxophone Player. So you can read it. I'm not going to read it. So the question is this small poem written by a machine, by a bot, what we call a chatbot, or has it been written by an author, by a human being? Okay, so you can go to this website, which is called botpoet.com, and they show you like this a lot of poems, and you can play this game to figure out which one was created by a machine and which was created by a human. And very often you will be surprised of not finding, not providing the right answer. In this case, so was it written by a bot or by a human? So the answer is what created by a bot, so by an AI system. Now, recently, I think it's in June or July 2020, There is a new version of GPT, which is a big AI neural network platform, which is open, so which everyone can access. It was developed by OpenAI, and the third version was released, like I said, in the last July. So it's ultimately a platform that you can access with an API, and this neural network has been fed with a huge amount of resources which were available from the internet, which were available from a lot of databases, books, or whatever. So it has fed, or this machine learned from a lot of resources. And how can this machine be used? So it can be used for a lot of different purposes. So first of all, it can help you to automate tasks, which are mainly text-based, I will say. It's a smart machine, so it can answer automatically any answer to any question you might have. So for instance, you can ask a question, is it expensive to rent an apartment in Paris? Okay, so the machine will, again, based on its knowledge, will analyze all of this and will tell you the average renting rate of an apartment in Paris is, let's say, 2,000 euro, and it's relatively expensive compared to blah, 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 other cities in the world. So it will provide you an answer which is very relevant to your question and which looks really like a human answers. Sorry. Now, it can generate reports for you also based on a lot of information. Sorry, I'm just checking. I'm getting a message just to make sure the live is still on. Okay, so it looks like I disappeared, but I'm back. Okay. Oh. Hello? Okay, it looks I'm live. I was worried that I got a phone call. Live is on. Okay, so great. So sorry for the interruption. So I was saying this OpenAI GPT system can also generate. So you can start a story, okay, like, and then the machine will create some options for you, some follow-up questions. So you create the beginning of the story, and the machine will automatically generate some potential follow-up ending of this story or option in this story, which is could be very useful for video game creation. And also, which is quite surprising, and I really encourage you to Google it or to look on YouTube for GPT-3, what it can do. It can automatically design user interface. So for instance, you will say, please create a user interface where the user can enter their first name, where they can enter their ID. And so by speaking to the machine, so through voice recognition, the system will dynamically create the interface in front of you with also all the information related to it. So again, it's an open platform that now is accessible to everyone all over the world, and that everyone can tap into, and with a set of APIs that will help you get answer to a lot of questions or make your system or your platform very much intelligent. Now, if some of you are fans of Harry Potter's, again, there is an AI project which there were originally 7 books of Harry Potter. So 8th volume of Harry Potter was generated by the machine, which is called Harry Potter and the Portrait of What Looked Like a Large Pile of Ash. So that's a bit of a strange title. Again, it was generated by AI, but you can download it for free. Again, you go to the Botnik website and you can download this new Harry Potter story that was purely developed by an AI machine. Now, in terms of music, we tested early on. I cannot share a music with you in these videos, but again, there are tons and tons of music or symphonies that were generated by AI tools, again, by learning by the most well-known composers and recreating symphonies or music that look like them. And even a musical was created purely by AI. So you can see how it looks. So there are some websites nowadays. An example is Ampere. And what Ampere does is that it will, sorry, I'm getting some message. I just don't know if I'm still live. I have no way to figure it out, but I'm just hoping I'm still live. Let me just check. Okay, I'm still live. Okay. One of the websites, which is called Ampere, now can generate some music automatically for you. For instance, you want to create a jingle, or you want to use a little music for your website or for whatever, for your advertising. Then the system will generate automatically, based on a set of criteria that you will define, the music for you. So it will be customized based on what you ask, and the machine will not retrieve from a database, but will dynamically create or generate this music for you. Now, so the final frontier is humor. Can a computer be funny? Can a computer crack a joke? Okay. So again, research has been conducted in that field. And I'm sorry to tell you that, yes, computer can be or can try to be funny. Again, humor, I mean, there is no, I will say, theory about humor on what makes things funny or not. It varies a lot between culture, between, I mean, different part of the world, between different religion or whatever. So it's quite difficult to have a general rule about what can make a story funny or not. But here is a joke that was created by a machine. A robot goes into a bar. "What can I get you?" asks the bartender. "I need something to loosen me up, sorry," says the robot. So the bartender serves him a screwdriver. Okay, so hopefully this put a little smile on your face. Again, 100% generated by a machine. And there are some websites like this that shows a lot of jokes that were created by a machine. So yes, to some extent, machine can start to be funny, and hope they will get funnier and funnier in the future. There are also some cases where some beauty contests were judged by artificial intelligence. So if you go to beauty.ai, there was a contest that was done a few years back, where all the judge, you could upload your picture on the website, and then the judge were only composed of AI machine. And so they identified who will be the winner of this beauty contest just by the decision made by this AI machine. Now, when it comes to science, you're going to ask me. So yes, AI machine can help too. There has been recently a lot of discoveries by using some AI that demonstrated that AI can, I mean, for sure, not only evaluate millions of or billions of different combinations of different compounds or whatever, but also look into different directions that maybe as human we will not have thought about. Now, of course, you're going to ask me, what about the COVID-19? Why is AI is not able to find a cure to it if AI can be so smart and so creative? So, yes, so there has been, of course, some research programs that have started by on some of the largest and fastest computer in the world, in the Computer Summit. And again, the machine was able to come up with some hypotheses that, again, doctors had never thought about. and that helps to understand some mechanism on how the virus develop or evolve in the human body, again, that the doctor were not aware of. So the AI has not yet found a cure or a vaccine, but it helped in the process of finding some solution. Now, the question is, based on what I just showed you, can human really compete against machine? So what we see is that there are a lot of studies that were conducted, particularly in the US, that shows that there is a decline in creativity level in children overall. So children are becoming less and less creative, and we are asking for more and more creativity in jobs. So that's a bit of controversy, and knowing that, yes, these problem-solving skills are more and more in need. So we often hear that you need to work faster, smarter, and harder. Well, if we work faster, smarter, and harder, that's maybe one of the reasons why we might get replaced by robots, right? So again, that's things that robots are good at, and so we cannot compete against robots, or we cannot compete against machine and computer if we follow this rule. So we should change a little bit our approach, not work faster, smarter, and harder, but work maybe differently. So again, if we look at machine, they are extremely fast, they are highly accurate, they make almost no mistakes, no minimum errors, and on top of it, they are super connected. They have access to millions or billions of resources that we don't have access to. If we look at our brain compare is very lame. We process things very slowly. We are quite lousy. We make a lot of errors in operations, and we are quite self-oriented. Our brain currently is not connected to anything. It is just connected to itself and to our human body, but we are not connected to anything. So we cannot compete against machine when it comes to going faster and being able to generate high quantity of things in a very systematic way. So we should not compete against machines. That should not be the way. What we should do is see how we can collaborate with machine to be more creative. Okay, so the question is not, can it imitate human creativity? Yes, it can, and what I just showed you up to now shows that yes, it can do it, and ultimately it will do it better than us. But the question is, can AI really, what we could say, transition between different forms of creativity? Can AI produce something that's qualitatively new and not just an imitation of something? And that's where currently we cannot say yes to this question. If we look back, at a popular quote from Picasso, Picasso says, "Good artists borrow, great artists steal." So what Picasso was trying to say by this is that even artists, get their inspiration from somewhere. We don't create out of a vacuum. Everyone has been inspired, has been affected by their experience, what they have seen, what they have done, and we cannot dissociate whatever we create from these past influences that we have been through. So yes, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Steal means that they get originally inspired by something, but then later on they transform it in a way that they make it their own. And by making it their own, later on, when people look at their artwork, they say, well, yes, it looks like nothing else I've seen before. So they appropriated it and they transformed it in a way that they make it their own. And that's one thing that machines currently are not capable of doing. Again, we could make a similar analogy. When the first camera came out, people say that, well, what came out of a camera cannot be considered as art. It's more or less something that was the machine took a picture and that's it. It's a tool, and we cannot consider it as art. But over the years, so we consider photography, of course, as one of the art. So it doesn't mean that because you have a camera that automatically you're an artist or you're a good photographer, and so we all know that. Even so, Nowadays, we are equipped with cell phone with great cameras or whatever. I mean, you still make good pictures and you still make bad pictures, right? So there is something, it's not just the tool itself, it's how do you use the tool and how you play with it. So AI is a tool and will always remain a tool. But artists need to use this tool to enhance or to further develop their own creativity. So it's a tool which is available to them, and they should not ignore it at this stage. So there need to be these interactions that happens between the human being and the system. And through this interaction, through this curation, or through this loop, then human creativity will be able to be enhanced. So just to give you some examples, some of you may have visited this website before, but Google has a set of lots of experimental tools that you can play with on creativity and AI. I just pick one just to show you an example. So here what you can do is that you can start to draw something. So you can see on the left part of the screen, you draw a shape that looks like an L, for instance, and the machine, the AI machine, will understand what you're trying to do and will complete the shape, okay? So you can see by just starting this L, the machine, if you say I want a boat, will draw for you automatically plenty of shape of boat just on the initial shape that you draw. So you can see that the machine take it further, you initiate the initial stage, and the machine exploit or explore a multitude of different options that are available to you. So you can start to see a little bit the power that such kind of technology bring to artists and how it can make their life easier, faster, but also open up to them a large variety of options to explore later on. There is one, again, from Google that was released a few weeks back, so it's very, very recent, which is called Google Chimera Painter or Chimera Painter. I'm not sure how it's pronounced exactly. Again, you draw some shapes, okay, 2D shapes, and so in two-dimensional shapes using their interface. And the Google AI tool will automatically convert these 2D shapes into 3D shapes. So you can see over here what the tool will do automatically for you. So of course, if you are not so good at painting, whatever will come out might not be as nice. But if you are a little bit more talented, like here, you will see that you can come up with some interesting result. And again, this is something that takes few seconds, and then you could use potentially these characters or these drawings to create video games or to animate into whatever platform you want to use. So you can see already how, I mean, the AI machine can add value or can support and strengthen things. So nowadays there is a strong emphasis on deep learning. Machines, everyone thinks that deep learning is the ultimate way to go. But in fact, we need more than deep learning. We need deep understanding. What we mean by that, if I show you this, in a couple of seconds, you're going to recognize that this is a face. Well, of course, you see all the vegetables and fruits, but also you will see, it will take you half a second to figure out that's a face. Now, it will take much more time and much more operations for a machine to identify that this is a face. And again, so it shows that even though our brain is slow, but we are able to contextualize things much more rapidly than a machine can do. So a machine ultimately, and this will be my last slide, a machine ultimately work out of social context. So a machine doesn't know that it's creating a painting. A machine doesn't know that it's creating music. A machine doesn't know that it's creating, a poem or whatever. A machine is just following certain logic to create something. So it is not inspired by people. It's not inspired by what's happening politically or socially or whatever. So when machine will get this sense of, we could say, of awareness or even potentially some mindfulness, then they will be potentially able to create art or be able to overcome some of the limitation I've presented to you today. So the future of creativity is in what we could call augmented human creativity or super creativity. As I said earlier on, there are tasks that we will now subcontract to machines that will be able to do it better than us and faster than us. But there are things that where human will still be required, and machine, we are still ahead of machine in a lot of artistic field. So I hope you enjoy this talk. We could talk much more about it, and there's a lot of things we could do about it. Just to let you know that once again, as I said at the beginning of the talk, we have also programs that talks about this concept of creativity and innovation. So if some of you are interested in doing an MBA, something completely different from an MBA, and if you want to be ready for the future, then you can join us. And we have also a PhD program in the same field. So now I will answer questions. So I will stop sharing my screen and I will come back live and I will see a little bit what question could Elle ask for me.
Okay, yeah. Vincent, okay, for the Q&A session, now we have two questions, but it's from the same person.
Okay.
It's Adam. And then the first question is like, how does it determine the authority of data collected based on apartment example?
So that's a good question. So I think I don't know exactly what are the algorithm behind this machine, but more or less it's a neural network. So it learns based on how often he has seen things happening. So a neural network. So you train this neural network based on providing things. So the more he sees price of apartments, for instance, the more he learns about what's the average price of an apartment. So if you ask me what is the average price of an apartment in Bangkok, so I will tell you, well, it depends on the area where you want to live. If you're in the center of Bangkok, maybe it's more likely to be around, let's say, between 30,000 to 50,000. Again, because I have experienced it before. So I think the machine will do the same. The machine has access to a huge amount of information. He learned from it, and by learning from it, it's better able to provide an answer which has been, how can I say that, which has been moderated by seeing a lot of things. So the machine may have seen apartments which are rented maybe 1 million baht a month, some of them that are rented 10,000 baht a month. But so these are extreme and outliers, but the machine was able to learn based on other criteria. So it's based on learning, yes.
Yeah, okay, because we have a different apartment like that.
Yes.
Okay, so the next one is that I think the question is come from when you end the sessions. He said that okay, you say that AI always be a tool, and he is agree about it. But to clarify, if so, then how will it exist human creativity? So he thinks this one is a topic that is very hot in the moment, like that.
So I'm not sure I understood the question. The question is, how will it assist creativity? Is it what you? Yeah. So I think that's what I discussed a little bit at the end. I think we are also in what we call a creative economy. So a lots of particularly Thailand is as a creative industry, which is quite important in a lot of different areas. And so all these creative industries, rely on creativity and rely until now mainly on human creativity. So on designers, of artists, of all kind of people who develop or create some artwork. Now, so we know now, and usually this takes time, and people are limited into what we know, what we think, what we can experience. So I think that AI is going to help to broaden a little bit the options, the choice that people have. People can explore much more avenues that they will not have had time to explore on their own before. as we could see, the machine, you say the machine, okay, I'm interested in this and this, what could it lead to? And the machine suddenly show you hundreds of different options of possibilities, and you say, that's interesting. Maybe I will follow this interesting path, or this interesting combination, or this interesting design. It will not have came to my mind originally, but now that I see what the machine proposed, then it gives me new ideas. It's a little bit like a brainstorming, if you want, with a machine. But so you share an idea, and the machine send you back, propose some additional idea or some additional things, and there is this ping pong or back and forth exchange that happen between the designer or the creator and the machine, and so that's a tool again that I believe all people in the creative industry should adopt rapidly, because they are now available, they are easy to use, and they can really boost the creative power of artists and designers. So that's so people should, who are in this creative industry, should really start to have a close look at it and see how they could integrate them into their current design processes and artistic creation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think so, because I think like for the AI is kind of a tool that can support our creativity better, like that.
Yes, it does, and like I said, it can do it in a lot of different ways, and it's not about trying to compete with the machine, because we will lose, but it's trying to differentiate ourselves and use the machine as a tool, like we use a camera as a tool, or technology as a tool. But at the end of the day, I mean, we are the one who tells the machine what we want or what we expect to do. So the machine is very good at solving a problem if you define the problem. But if you don't define the problem to the machine will not identify a problem on its own, or will not identify an opportunity in its own. You need to guide the machine towards a direction, and that's a human who will do that. If you don't, the machine on its own, again, like I said, the machine doesn't know that it's playing chess. The machine doesn't know that it's creating music. The machine is just following some.
So they don't have the sense of human like us.
Yes.
100%.
So they are not aware, so they don't realize what they are doing. So they don't, and they cannot. Indirectly, because they don't realize what they are doing. They cannot be influenced by their surroundings. So they are working. They're completely disconnected, more or less, from reality. They are working in their world.
Yeah. Okay. So Adami says, thank you for your question, for your answer. And the next question is like from Jeffstar. Sorry for if I spelled the wrong name. So the question is, in your opinion, is there any kind of job will never be replaced by AI for now?
Like I said early on, I think every job, every job has some level of automation which are possible. So, so there is every job will have a part of every job will be ultimately automated with an AI machine. Okay, like for instance, if we take this, I'm a teacher at Bangkok University. Maybe ultimately there will be. And I hope it will happen soon. So some systems that can grade student copies automatically, right? So maybe I will not have to grade student homework anymore. I will give it to a machine, and the machine will grade it for me. So maybe part of my work about grading will be, I will never have to do that again, which I wish will happen one day. But on the other hand, maybe I need to provide other kind of valuable knowledge and insight to students, which is, they better use my knowledge, my experience, rather than me wasting time grading things which does not bring much value, really. Use my expertise and my time to do other things that have more value, or that can help students to learn better. So I think every job, like I said earlier on, some jobs which are mainly automated already might become, maybe 90% of their activities can be automated. Maybe some work which have more creative aspect to it might be less percentage of their task would be automated. But I think it will affect everyone in whatever jobs they are doing to a different extent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. For we have another two questions.
Yes.
Okay. This first one is like if the novel was created by AI, that is has a like a intellectual property in it, like that. We have
So that's a big that's something I didn't touch upon, which is becoming also very important. So who owns the intellectual property of something which is developed by a machine? Is it the machine itself, or is it the creator of the machine, or the creator of the algorithm, and so on? So in my presentation, I skipped a slide. In France, for instance, when it comes to music, they have now they allow for people to give I don't know how we call that. It's not a copy. It's not a copyright, but it's hold on, just 1 second. I'm trying to find the a composer rights. I think we could call it that way. So they gave the composer right to a machine. So the name of the composer is the name of the machine and is not the name of the person. So I think for intellectual property, for copyright, things like this, in some countries, they can only be human beings. But in some countries, they are starting to change the laws also, and they could be attributed to a machine or to a system, so not to a real person. So this is, this did not happen in the past, but this is for sure raising a set of new questions of who owns the intellectual property of whatever was created by such kind of system. And again, different countries might have different laws, but it's something which needs to be assigned, to be investigated, and depending what you're creating, is that something you need to think about early on, because you know that at one point it will become an issue or a challenge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So the last question is like can AI be used or designed in a way that it is not intended to be or to do? What are the possibilities? Yeah.
So the machine cannot, like I said, so AI tools, we don't know what they're going to create. So we know they're going to create something. So what we give them the framework, if you want, of what we want the machine to do. But then what happens inside is a black box. We don't know what the output will be, and we don't know how it was created by the machine. So we don't know what the machine took in consideration, what the machine didn't take in consideration, and so on. So there is this black box, which is the machine, where the machine more or less is creative, because the developer doesn't know what will be the end result of this machine, and that's what makes more or less what we could claim that the machine is creative, because he has created something that was not predefined to create. And but again, like I said, we still need to have a framework around it, so the machine knows what to investigate or what to explore or what to create. Yes, but but again, the developer will not know what the end result might look like. Like if I take the example of humor early on, the person who develops the system have no clue about what kind of jokes the system is going to develop. Maybe 99.9% of the jokes that the system develop are not funny, but maybe a very, very low number end up being funny. And again, the developer didn't know what the machine will develop based on what criteria.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So okay. For now is no question. Okay. So for today, thank you, Vincent, for sharing us the knowledge and the trend or the much information about AI and creativity. Okay. So
Thank you so much, Kunal, thank you so much for True Digital Park for inviting me. Thank you for all of you who have joined today. Sorry for the little technical problem. Again, if you are interested to connect or whatever, you can just Google me, and I'd be happy to continue the conversation or to have additional questions with you. And again, if you're interested in learning more about this, we have also academic programs that will help you with that.
Yeah, you can join the academic program is better
Yes.
for you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
We'll see
Kapun Makrapun here.
you.
Thank you all for joining. Bye-bye.
For TDPK, you can find another activity in our Facebook, because now we have many sessions like talk like this, and maybe now we have the session of How of Digital Academy that you can submit to study here at Trader Park. Yeah. So
Okay.
thank you for today. Okay. Bye.
Thank you all again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.